Well, still on page 177. Now that we have understood that the probability of z less than z is equals to 1, this one will only feature on the left hand side, and that means if this is z, you can have the right hand side whereby the probability of z greater than z is obviously the whole of the area of under the normal distribution model minus the probability of z less than z. It is important to note that, because I want us to go to example 1 with this information. And example 1 talks of use tables to find the probability of z less than 1.52, less than 1.52. And diagrammatically, what we may see here is a normal distribution model. You realize that 1.52 is a positive, and this is our boundaries. And because we are talking about the probability of z less than this, then we need to get the area of the shaded region. And this one, we just go to page 201, whereby we go to page 201, whereby the table will give us information. What do we do when we get to the page 201? When you go to page 201, we identify, you can see on top there are some columns named z, and there are some columns named p z is equals to z. These are the boundaries, and these are the probabilities. These are the boundaries, and these are the probabilities. The probability is actually equals to the area, so don't confuse the two. If you want now to get, and you can see on top there, it's written the normal distribution function, and within this kind of a diagram or a model, it is given here that the phi of z, which is equals to the probability of z less than z, and of course we have the boundary z here, then the area to the left is shaded. So what do we do when we get to page 201? We identify our z or our boundary, which is 1.52, and then we go with it. We identify it is in the fourth column, 1.52, fourth column, row number 2, and the probability of that is reading, that means the probability of z less than 1.52, that means the area of the region under 1.52, it is the one that is shown under this column, because you can already see that we have our z 1.52, and the value corresponding to that z 1.52 is 0.9357. That you identify that on page 201, and you realize that the area of that region is just that. So the answer to part A, is that this one is 0.9357. What does that mean? That the area of this model up to the boundary 1.52, which is shown here, to the left of it, because of the less than, is 0.9357. Let us go to part B of the question. Part B of the question is asking let me just put it over here. Part B of the question. Part B of the question is asking, what is the probability of Z greater than 2.6? Greater than. Please note greater than 2.6. 2.60. And yes, the table on page 201 does not show for the region of the values greater than. It only shows for the region of the values less than. Less than. So when we talk about greater than, then we must call upon what we have here. Meaning that the probability of Z greater than 2.6 or must be equals to 1, because we are identifying 1 minus the probability of Z less than 2.6. Because we are identifying that region that looks like this, and this is 2.60, and we want that area, call it X, but because the table in page 201 does not give us, then we will have to find this area Y, which is given by Y is equals to the probability of Z less than 2.6, because now it is to the left. So the whole of the area of the model, which is basically which is the whole of this model is 1, then minus what we have on the left, so that we are left with what we are looking for. And at that particular point, then we call upon page 201 and read our boundary being 2.6, and our area 2.6 is 0.9953. When Z is 2.6, then the probability of Z less than Z is 0.9953. And sure enough, now the area, the probability of Z greater than 2.60 is 1 minus the area to the left of the curve, 0.9953, which is basically 0.0047. At that point, at least we can say that we have been able to understand just a bit of what we need to understand, but the most important bit to understand is that the area under the model is equals to 1. So the boundaries, depending on whether you're going to the left or to the right, if we are talking about Z less than, then you can go to page 201. But if you're going to Z greater than, then you can go to 1 minus Z less than, or the table on page 202. I'll show you how it is used. All right.